Be ready. Start with me. Okay, I'm going to try a new way to set valve lash. I haven't done it this way. Tom Wilhite told me how to do it like this, so I'm going to give it a try. The thing that makes it easier is I can set both the intake and the exhaust valve at the same time. The key to this is knowing the firing order to your engine. So this will work on any engine as long as you know the firing order. You double stack your firing order. In my case, it's 1, 8, 4, 3, 6, 5, 7, 2. This is a Pontiac motor, it's 400. Same firing order as a Chevrolet, but it will work on the Ford as long as you use the right firing order. The thing we have to look at is the intake and the exhaust valves. And so we're going to start with cylinder 1. To do that, we're going to actually look at cylinder 6. And I've labeled all of the cylinders on here and the intakes and the exhaust. The intake for cylinder 6 is towards the rear of the motor. The exhaust is towards the fore of the motor. So what I'm going to do is I am going to crank the motor around until the intake just closes. In other words, this arm is clear up. The spring has no pressure on it. Right now it's going down. All right, so we're starting to close. And I want to wait till the exhaust just starts to come open. Now, being on a Pontiac motor, we can see quite easily how things set. Now, I've just started the exhaust stroke. It's just starting to compress here. You can look inside here. The lifter is coming up. This lifter is clear down because this has no tension on it. And if you look at the camshaft right here, you can see that I am on the lowest part of the shaft on both of these. So now I'm going to start by adjusting both the intake and the exhaust. Now I'm going to do this by loosening this or tightening this by hand until my push rod doesn't do it. We don't want any lash here. Side to side movement's okay, but no up and down. So once I've got that there, I'm going to take my wrench and I'm going to turn 1/2 to 3/4 of a turn. And then I am going to tighten up the cam lock. Once that's done, I'm going to give this just a small bump, about a 1/16 of a turn, make sure we're locked, and then I'm done. I'm going to do the same thing on the intake side. Make sure we're not moving here. Nice and snug. Okay. We can have some movement, not just this way. Same thing. We're going to give it 1/2 to 3/4 of a turn. Tighten down the cam lock. And give it a bump. Now both those valves are set. Next, we are going to do number 8. So to do number 8, I need to look at cylinder 5. It should be just a 1/4 rotation around. So if you look at the exhaust on cylinder 5, it is almost ready to come up and the intake is almost down. So 1/4 turn around and perfect. So number 5, the exhaust is now up. The exhaust is starting to open, the intake is closed, and we are going to look at cylinder 8. Once again, you can see that cylinder 8 is on a flat spot. Looks like I need to come up just a hair more. There we go. That should take care of that. And now I can do cylinder 8 the same way. It doesn't matter which one I do first. Moving the rod. No lash there. I'm just going to go ahead and do both up at the same time this time. No lash there. 3/4 of a turn. Lock down the lock. Be careful it doesn't move on you while you're doing that. A little bump. And done. Do the other one. 1/2 to 3/4 of a turn. Nice and tight. Give it a bump. And we're done. Then we should be able to go on to the next cylinder, which is cylinder 4. So we're going to look at number 7, which is back over here. Exhaust valve is on the outside. Should be starting to come up. Exhaust valve is starting to come up there. Exhaust valve is open. Intake is closed, and we can look at number 4, which right here we seem to be just, oh, we went just a little too far. So we'll have to crank that one back around. Let's see if we can. Nope, we're not quite far enough. Let's move it up just a little bit. Now on the flat, look good here, up, down. And we can do this one. Same process at this point. Snug. And snug. 3/4 turn. Bump. And done. 3/4 turn. Tight, give it a bump, and done. All right, next one's number 3, so we need to look at cylinder 2. Cylinder 2 is right here. Watch the exhaust valve, watch it come up, and we can look at number 3. Looks perfect. Just a 1/4 turn, that's all it took. Don't overdo it. Too tight. Perfect. 3/4 of a turn. Lock. Bump. Three-quarters of a turn. Lock, bump, good to go there. All right, now we're going to go back and go to number 6. So now we're going to look at cylinder number 1. Looking at the exhaust side of cylinder 1, you can see it's just about getting ready to open. 1/4 turn, it is now open. And we're going to look at, we can do number 6 now. Okay. Can't see that one real well, but it looks like it's all right. Maybe come up just a hair more. You get the advantage of working on a Pontiac when you can actually see it. Okay. Same procedure, 3/4 around. And give it a bump. And then you just continue on until you do all the remainder. Okay, shut it off. Push the red button.